everyone. I am Akshita Bindal and today we are going to discuss about attention economics. So the next topic that we had to cover was advertising, the ad tech model. So let's discuss about the advertisement. The role of advertisement is to be persuasive, informative and complementary. So what is informative? The informative is there should be some information that the existence and the attribute of the product is not known to the consumer. So advertisement is basically done because we assume that the person does not knows about our product to make the product be known to the consumer and persuade him or her to buy the product. So if we talk about complementarity or the complementary goods, known basically is a relationship in between two goods or services in which rise in price of one decreases the demand for other, because these goods are often purchased and used together. Now a quick example of complementary good is left shoe and right shoe. You can of course you cannot buy a left shoe alone and a right shoe alone. So car and petrol, the other example is car and petrol of the complementary goods. So now we know what advertisement is and why do people advertise, because different to differentiate their products, to get a competitive edge, to draw attention towards brand. So this Mr. Galbraith, the famous economist, he said that there are two main reasons to advertisement is to manipulate market demand and or to guide against sudden shifts in demands. So in digital age we see advertisement and we also see the competitors, and they need to create barriers to entry to create competitive or to gain competitive advantage. These all are economic terms. So there is price floor, price ceiling, barriers to entry, barriers to trade. These all is in economics. So we can of course arrange a catch-up lecture. Just comment that and I'll do a catch-up lecture for you. Now let's just keep a little bit of fast forward to this Mr. Richard. So he talks about economics of attention and assumes that information is always comes in some kind of packages like cell phones, laptops, and he questions that in this economy, where are the economists? Who are the economists? Are they directors? And he shifts the focus towards directors who are serving as economists. So his video link would be in the description box. All the reference would be in the description box itself. Now let's tweak history a little bit. So what happens? Let's understand shelf design. Shelf design is not a new concept like window dressing. You must have studied about window dressing. That's also a concept of commerce or economics, but mainly of an MBA. So when we have a shelf design, this Walmart and big malls, there was a similar attention problem, that is to tap the necessary intermediary attention. Intermediary attention is like attention of the consumer. So these supermarkets, what these supermarkets did was they placed things for children's like toys and chocolates on the lower near ground shelf, and things for adult were placed accordingly. Okay, so these supermarkets did this so that the right attention is towards the right consumer. Also there is this one of the psychological tricks in sales, where where they employ smart, precisely handsome salesmen or saleswomen, like beautiful saleswomen, for male and female shoppers and vice versa, implying thereby attractiveness drives attention out of individuals. So this Richard guy, he also talks about sixth sense, and he says that this is a complex neurological process, and similar to human technology interaction. He gives a funny example of how people get their nose jobs done, and that may deprive them of their sixth sense. So let's understand that as we have sixth sense, which may be result of complex neurological processes, so is in the human technological interactions, and how these feedback loop is crafted and generated so that you can create a desired output for the end user. So IoTs, like information technologies, have complexities that are not visible and are buried in complex systems. For example, touch screen is like what you want, what you get. Like what you want is what you get. This is the touch screen, right? So the end user satisfaction is very important. So when you see something on screen, you have a microsecond of attention that decides if you like that thing or you do not like that thing. And this is the whole economics of attention, and this lecture was in 2007 or 8 2008, and his book was also less than a decade before, and it's been like 5 or 7 years, and this microsecond of attention is being commercialized. We'll learn it forward as we move on to our next slide. But one thing that I want you to notice here is scarce resource is also time, but the critical scarce resource is that microsecond of attention that decides if a person likes the stuff or not. And then we arrive at the water diamond paradox. So water is time, like time is available in abundance, but diamonds are not available in abundance, though they are not that useful, but they have an appeal. So is diamond that microsecond of attention? Well, let's see. When we talk about human decisions, they can be manipulated, and this is whole new field, whole new course of behavioral economics, nudges, prospects theory, choice architect, and framing effect. This all would be a different course, but for now, we have to understand how this microsecond of attention is being commercialized. Now let's talk about first complexities of IoTs and AdTech model. So it seems that this Richard guy says that is creation that the creation of necessity where it does not exist by the way of language like words or images. So he talks about like how many multimedia sources are there, like images, movements, uh, color psychology. There are so many things, and by the way of this, inattentional blindness may occur, which may lead to selective attention. Of course, there is selective attention. I am saying everything, but you won't be registering everything. You would be paying attention only to stuff that you think that is important, and that's a complex neurological process. And then there is partial attention when you're scrolling feed as well as paying attention to what you are listening. Then there is oscillating attention. So attention is not something that is static. This Karen Field, she also talks about it when she has graphically illustrated that attention increases and decreases. So sometimes you are paying attention and then you are attending to something else, and then you shift back your attention. A reason for that is also because how much I speak, the reception of words is much faster than my verbalization of words. So this is one of the reasons also that attention deviations may occur. Okay, so this is all that he talks about, and then his concluding remark is like familiarity is comfortable and unfamiliarity is not. For example, if you open Instagram and for a split second your mobile phone camera is being accessed, so you're like, okay, once you get familiar to it, then maybe no one would object that. But yeah, initially we have advertising marketers and publishers and consumer, a simple process. Then what happens that there was an ad server, and this ad server would place the advertisements. And then what happened was a more complex system, more number of players were added to the system, and the ad placement and the ad tech, there were ad server and ad tech networks. And then after that, it comes to where there is an ad server, there is an ad exchange, and there is an ad network. So internet advertisement started very, very simple, but then ad servers came up, then creation of advertisement networks and ad exchange came up, and with that the advent of traffic, like ad traffic and ad frauds started happening, spams, repetition of same advertisements. And then there was a supply side economy and a demand side economy. And as defined by Oxford, platform is a computer system, so platforms emerged, the two-sided platforms emerged, and they had shared resources and shared advertisements as well. So now I have this thing in mind, critical decompensation theory, but this we will discuss sometime else. Now let's talk about this Karen Nelson Field. So this Karen Nelson Field, she published a book, and now she published a book on viral marketing in 2013. Then the attention economy, how media works, 2020. Then the attention economy blueprints, which is the recent book. And there was this poor guy, Ethan Zuckerman, who was apologizing for creating pop-up blogs. And now we are here. What is being tapped is our passive attention is being tapped. Now this is tapping the behavior too. Let's listen, for this is very important for awareness, for mental health, for economics, for making informed decisions, and etc etc. She postulated that why should the people who are giving advertisements pay 100% for a 25 or a 30% coverage. So pixels is to payment ratio, or pixels is to coverage, is uh, the thing that she tapped in. And it's very interesting field. So okay, so Karen Nelson A field, right? Now where our Richard guy and his time, like 2008 and 2010, people are talking about self-organizing and complex adaptive systems, and complex adaptive theories in economics as well, which is just being destroyed by, in next like 5 minutes it would be destroyed. I'll tell you why. Listen. So we are not talking about economic hardships. So she says we are talking about attention, and attention is classified according to her. It's human attention, which is not clicks, which is not proxy measures, and it's not even the vanity attention. It's human attention. And she discusses that uh, that attention is poised to become a measure of quality impression. Now, attention being a measure of quality impression is in itself uh, something difficult, because we are trying to measure attention, like cardinal, ordinal. How does it happens? Is it in minutes, seconds? What is it happening? So she says, ad technology is mainly software. So the goal was to collect attention at a scale, of supposedly of applications. So when you log in, users are asked permission, supposedly, um, and films you while using your Instagram, right? So you get money for that. That is expensive, and they had to spend a lot of money on that. So now login is via face recognition, and this was among, like, she was 2016 to 2020, this was being done. And now login is via face recognition. So basically we have your facial data. Yeah, we have your facial data. And then they put ad on your screen, and interpret and intercept and intercept ad loads. So they put in ad on your screen, and then they put an ad intercept load. And after they have put in the ad intercept load on your screen, there is JavaScript behind ads. Now this will let the system or human know the pace of your scroll, the number of your clicks, if the sound is on or off, or how long have you kept it for. And it will also let them know, for some platforms, if the orientation is landscape, or the orientation is portrait. In what orientation are you watching it? So okay, now they can tell it that you are on your phone, or you are on your laptop. And bearing in mind, they talk about facial recognition. And then user goes into the store and picks from the shelf and buys the stuffs, and all that data all that data is sent back to the stack. Now everything that so far is being sent to the stack. Did I miss something? Yeah, it's a huge field, huge research, yes, huge amount of data. And let me explain you data mining. So data mining is extraction of useful information from large data set. This this is construed in broader sense than data analysis. While data analysis is focused on estimation and assessment of existing models, data mining attempts to extract implicit information by using automated, single quotes, automated software techniques for finding patterns and regularities, as well as detecting anomalies in sets of data. This is something known as knowledge discovery. Information, yes, there is a lot of information, but knowledge, that's scarce. And this discovery is being automated. Now let's come back to Karen, right? She says data is collected whether ad has been watched or not. Like, data is collected whether the ad has been watched or not, whether the user has interacted with the ad or not. The chosen facial footage is sent to the machine learning model. What? I'm being rejected? There is a chosen footage that is being sent to the machine model, like machine learning model. She says what can be told is whether you are looking at the ad, whether you are looking at the screen or your feed. And if you're looking at the feed, then whether you are paying some amount of passive attention to your feed or not, or to the ad or not. So looking at whether you are looking at your phone, whether you are looking at your screen, and or not looking at the ad but the feed, and this footage is transposed to a mathematical model. The companies that they have now is like Facebook, Twitter, Vivo, Instagram, and have already implemented in some countries, especially Europe, and have been successful. So the data collection app that they have, is iOS Gaze machine learning model, and it's like real time ad insertion code. It's trademarked and copyrighted, and the app turns on camera when the ad appears and captures facial footage. It also collects viewability metrics, scroll speed, and sound volume. And finally, the data is pushed to their analytics framework which runs on the gaze model, and all data is merged on individual level. Two machine learning models will have a two machine learning models will connect via encoded audio print credits. So the core is attention. The attention economy has become a movement of change. The attention economy will see attention being traded. My bad, human attention being traded, double quotes. Human attention traded as a scarce and valuable commodity. Wait, I need to come up with a tagline too. So, if satisfied, tell others. If not, tell us. Weird. Forget it. Next slide. Okay. So, what all comes to our mind is next click farms, stacking, duplicate accounts, fake subscribers, fake news, fake information, fake ads, deep fake geolocations. A couple of years ago, when the Facebook initially came, there was this security officer, the cybersecurity officer, Mark Zuckerberg, and some of the people having discussion. And what were they talking about? That my device have my location, so burglars may come in, there may be theft and everything. And now it's changing to fake geolocations. I recently received a fake geolocation of one of my colleagues, and I called him to confirm he was not there. So what are we heading to? Like, what is it going towards? Chit fund kind of thing or what? So they have this data, like her research tells about what are the positive emotions, the negative emotions, and then there is the concept of satisficing that she talks about, which is we settle in for something that is good enough. That is a whole thing in behavioral economics propounded by Simon. The Simon coined the term satisficing, challenging the rationality assumption in economics. And then there is that attention you must if you want to grab individual attention, you must break their predictions. So there used to be a time when horror movies used to bring up butterflies in our stomach, or maybe make us nauseac or something. Now it's like we are expecting that, okay, this is what is going to happen. There would be a zombie coming out of a television screen, or there would be a zombie coming out of someone's chest, and something of that sort is becoming predictable. So her research suggests how attention is increases with higher percentage of pixels. So that means there is a newspaper article also in the links that TV advertisements gain more attention than YouTube or Facebook attentions. There was a controversy also while Facebook was having to pay the revenue generating model of advertisements and all that stuff. But her research has an R-square value of 0.98 and also explores relationship between coverage and attention, coverage and brand choices, and attention that varies between different platforms. So Facebook may not have that much of your attention as much as Instagram, or YouTube may not have your attention as much as Instagram, or Instagram may have less. So basically the TV screen has the most of your attention. And why this varies? Because of the roles played by the pixels. So more the pixels, more the attention and coverage. So time on screen helps us too, but with a diminishing return and not as much as being seen in the first place. So sales and advertisement are not perfectly linearly related. However, the mere presence of branding at attention peaks increases the chances of buying. So sales are amplified when attention peaks, and branding are aligned. So why does everything that gets attention is not sold is a book, and that is also a book by that is mentioned in the ref, but yes, there is everything in the references. And yeah, that's all.